So, sports, Olympics, etc. Here are some advantages and disadvantages of using television advertising. First, it's awfully persuasive. It is the best not to be matched, particularly on a big screen, as opposed to on a mobile phone. Impression. Okay, wide choice of cost alternatives, quick responses. People watch it. A lot of people, when they're watching their television at home, as you, I'm sure, know, are on their computers or on their cell phones anyway. Large impacts in short time periods. Yes, so depending on the buy, if you get a good reach build, you get that. Turnaround to get on air can be a few days. If you, depending on the format, if you can produce something quickly, that's certainly the case. Disadvantage is that most television ads are very expensive to produce. And the second disadvantage is you can't click a TV. People have tried to do clickable television. This has been going on for 30 years, but nobody really seems to want to do it. Highlight something and click it, etc. Point with your remote to click. I mean, it's just not a thing that's taken off and probably never will. Now, a couple of things that bear mentioning. Sponsorship. So we've talked really only about paid media so far, and as you know, your book makes quite a production out of paid, owned, and earned media. And in terms of owned, again, you have sponsorships, you have product placement. This is one reason why I asked you guys to make your MMJ about product placement for this coming week, so we can look at that and what it does. And, of course, there is sponsorship still, such and such a production sponsored by so-and-so, where a sponsor would get certain rights in terms of appearing in a production or appearing closer or more aligned to a certain kind of programming that could be advantageous. And then, of course, with earned media, I think what you really have is you're talking about public relations. So the same public relations agency, the same public relations press release that can get you into a magazine or into somebody who's doing web content can also get you on television. So particularly on local news and, daily programming like that where they're always looking for content. So you'll find lots of marketers and advertisers producing B-roll footage or stock footage of some kind of new product or Christmas gift recommendations and things like that. And they send out spokespeople and they send out canned footage and try to get placement on Today's Show and, again, shows that are looking for content. And there's a lot of that in television. What is TV content? Of course, it's infinite. Hundreds and hundreds of channels and now and all kinds of content. So let's talk about evaluating television by CPM and quality of impression. And on the left are television CPMs. And you can see that prime time, particularly with local spot TV, is expensive. It's also expensive with network. Less expensive if it's not prime time. And in fact, spot TV prime time is one of the highest CPMs there is. Other than, of course, catalog mailings and direct mail, which we saw could cost $500 to $1,000 CPM. So TV in general is expensive, but the quality of the impression is very, very high, and that's what you're paying for. So this was the agenda for today's class, as you know, a bunch of which we didn't get to. How to summarize TV. Let me just skip back a step. The best impression, the highest quality impression, it's an expensive impression, CPM-wise. It's expensive to produce the advertising for the most part. It is open to earned media opportunities. If you have a story to tell or can put one together, particularly on news or daily type shows that are always looking for content. You can also do product placement. I think we're going to see with product placement that you don't really get too much more than a visualization of your package or maybe a mention of the brand. You normally don't get a lot of pitching done by the people on the shows. You used to back in the Johnny Carson days of TV, but not so much anymore. Nobody wants to be a huckster, really, for products on TV. A little more willing to do that on podcasts and radio where they need the business, a little less willing on TV. And what else? TV is consolidating. TV is video, and video is moving away from the home TV screen onto other kinds of screens, as we all know. And as we'll see when we get to internet and mobile, with these short forms and this pre-roll video, which is how a lot of the ads run on mobile devices, it's a challenge to get people to watch the video. It takes a special kind of content, a special feel for the audience, and we will be getting to that. And hopefully also you end up taking away from the movie network that ratings are what it's all about in TV, because ratings mean money, and however you get those eyeballs seems to be people seem to be open to looking at it. So go back here to where we are with things. So again, the next class we will finish up the movie network. Don't have too much left. I want to look at our progress versus the syllabus, see what else we have to accomplish. We're going to look at product placement in TV, video, and film in your MMJ. Please submit that. And don't forget to talk about where and when and how you saw the ad, even if you're kind of going to look for it. How did you do that? And try to give some background about who's responsible for the content, the entertainment content, and or the content, or who's doing the product placement. This is the reading for the next class. It's all about interactive and mobile, and we will talk about that in the next class. And so that concludes the lecture on TV. Thanks, everybody.